What's been happening in Spain last couple of days is a grim look at our own future, the results of what happens when socialist policies run wild. Some 60,000 migrants crossing into the Spanish territory of Ceuta from Morocco over the last 48 hours as Spanish authorities scramble to contain it.
We don't have a good life in Morocco. We don't have good medicine, and we don't have a good teachers, and it's a bad life in Morocco.
I want to stay here. I want to discover in Spain, discover in Europe. I want to be active, in the job, in the social life,
Sounds painfully familiar. Residents are terrified for what it means for them.
One day, when they've gone 2 or 3 days without food or a place to sleep, they'll break into our homes, they'll kick us out of our homes, they'll attack us. What will they do? We neighbors here can't go about our daily lives, we can't live our lives, we can't do absolutely anything, and we're at our wits' end because nobody is helping us.
Understandably, this is sending shockwaves throughout the region. One country's emergency is becoming a test of Europe's passport-free travel system. Italy can see what's coming, and it's already locking down to protect its own citizens, putting border controls on anyone coming in from Spain.
Is just invading the country, and what that is weak law, bad management, but very liberal law. Nobody's seen anything like it. That will look good compared to what's going to happen to the United States.
Here with me now is Chad Wolf, Homeland Security Chair at the America First Policy Institute and former acting DHS Secretary under Trump. Chad, those images today were absolutely shocking. They reminded me, although I think they might have even been worse, than the very worst days under Joe Biden when we were watching those caravans coming towards our own border.
Well, I think you're right. The pictures were a little shocking, but they shouldn't be surprising. I mean, Spain granted mass amnesty for almost over 1 million illegal aliens earlier this year. Almost 600,000 have applied and received work permits. And so you have others that are sitting outside of Spain saying, I want that same thing too. And so you see this rush. But, the larger point here is that the EU as a bloc has had very liberal, very open borders now for over a decade. And it's been an absolute disaster for a variety of different countries in a variety of different cities inside the EU. And they've gone so far as they've actually tried to pass a law this year, and they did, about a new return policy, how they can deport illegal aliens quicker and faster, but it's not enough, and it's certainly not working. And so I think that social experiment tells you, what could happen here in the U.S. And of course, we had that experiment under 4 years of Joe Biden, and it was a failure left and right. It was a failure. Yeah.
So Spanish authorities say that most of those 60,000 who rushed the border and came across have voluntarily returned to Morocco. What do you make of? I can't even kind of wrap my head around that. What do you make of all of that?
Yeah, I would be a little leery about those facts and about that assertion about all of them self-deporting and returning on their own. They have no incentive to. Their incentive is to stay there and to have that visa-free travel throughout the Schengen zone or the EU, and to get a work permit there in Spain because of the structure that they have there. So, look, these open border policies throughout the EU attracts more and more of these types of incursions. And while we haven't seen one recently, we have seen similar ones like this over the past decade or more.
Do you have any sense about what sparked this current thing over the last 48 hours?
Well, again, I think I would point back to earlier this year. Again, the Spanish government provided amnesty for what they thought was about 500,000 illegal aliens. And in fact, 1.3 or more actually applied for that amnesty, and over 600,000 have gotten work permits. That's a huge influx of individuals getting work permits in this year alone. And my guess is that these individuals from Morocco and elsewhere in North Africa are saying, look, if I get to Spain, perhaps I'll get that same type of amnesty from that government as well. And so the influx certainly could have been precipitated by that.
Yeah, but it really is kind of strange, and I guess a reminder that a lot of these groups that are helping these people do things like this are very highly coordinated and have tremendous ability to communicate among themselves to rush a border like that. And it's pretty terrifying to see.
Yeah.
Chad, thank you so much for joining us.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.